Julia, I want to ask you now about what is really the gold mine of your reporting and filming, which is the whole orphanage raid with Joshua and Boise. Talk to me about how you got into that, because this is the most extraordinary sequence in the whole story. That you basically got this guy incriminated on camera. But talk about how this all was set up. It's fantastic.
Yeah, well, Joe did a lot of the legwork with our local producer, Anna, like he mentioned, you know, working with the government for months to try and convince them to give us access to one of these raids. And, you know, as we got closer to our deployment, we made sure that we were in this part of the country when Joshua and Boise and his team were planning to raid one of these unregistered orphanages. And then when we actually met up with Joshua, you know, he's, you know, charming and a talker. At first, we felt good about everything, but after a few hours of having him walk us around the different administrative buildings and introducing us to pretty much everyone who we worked with, we realized that, you know, something wasn't right. He was trying to delay the trip to the orphanage that we were supposed to witness him close. And you know, he basically was trying everything he could not to do the job that, you know, is one of the main parts of his job as a probation officer. His job is to protect children and make sure that the children in his community are being cared for in an appropriate way. And the job we were supposed to do, which was document him doing his job. So it took, you know, in the end, it actually took some convincing from us or some pushing of, you know, aren't you gonna like do the job that you're supposed to be doing today? And when we eventually were able to follow him there many hours after we were supposed to go to the orphanage, there was an immediate conflict as we rolled into the plot of land. You know, we could see the managers of the orphanage get a little upset, and, you know, the argument inside, it was clear right off the bat that these managers had had a lot of interactions with him, not just as a probation officer and, you know, a legal orphanage, but, you know, more than that. The argument inside went on for, you know, 45 minutes or so. And we, you know, while one of our DPs was inside, we were kind of outside watching this little building where, you know, which was on a big plot of land, and slowly, you know, a bunch of the employees started coming out. Someone had a machete. Kids were watching us. It was a super tense environment. And, you know, in the end, he basically tried to escape, just like he tried not to go in the first place, and pinned him down and, you know, forced him to reckon with, you're just going to leave these kids here who are here illegally after being accused of taking bribes to allow them to keep operating. But yeah, it was an incredibly tense time. And I wish that we had, you know, twice as long for the piece, so we could have included more of the, you know, drama that unfolded there. And we actually also went back the next day. We weren't able to include that either, just to kind of hear more about their side, the orphanage's side of the story. And, you know, basically from their point of view and from the American volunteer we talked to, who has visited that orphanage several times, Joshua was, you know, taking hundreds of dollars from them over, you know, multiple times. And that's a ton of money for an institution like that, you know, even if it is operating illegally. So yeah, it was tense.